Good morning to this second PreDrupa event that we are doing here on Inkish. We have almost 3 hours ahead of us, and I think we have a very interesting program today with a lot of news. Last time nobody wanted to say much because it was very early, but HP just had their PreDrupa event in Indianapolis last week. The real Drupa was took place these days, I think, with the PreDrupa event in Düsseldorf. And I can guarantee that in just a few minutes we will welcome our friends from Canon. And I know they have news because I got an update this morning. So I am a little bit aware of what they announced yesterday. And it will be very interesting to welcome both Jennifer, Matthew, and Hans in just a few seconds. Before we get started, I just wanted to say a few things here, and that is first and foremost, a warm welcome to people watching this. For people that don't have time for watching it for 3 hours, don't worry. We will cut it as usual into separate episodes so people can see them when they have time. Also want to say that you're welcome to comment whatever platform you're using, whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook or Inkish. You can comment on things. Oh, you cannot do that on Inkish because that is the next update. Sorry, but on LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube, you can comment, and we can see the comments here if there are questions to our guests, of course. So that is maybe the most important thing right now. And then a little intro, and then we will see our guests from Canon in just a moment. See, now we are going to see I can see that all of you are in the same shot here. I don't know if you can move into being seen the same camera angle, because I think that the way that we share the screen right now maybe make it look a little bit different. Oh, good morning to you all. Are you having a good time?
We are, always.
Fantastic. And I guess that all of you are maybe in Düsseldorf because you made some super announcement yesterday.
Yes, we did. We had actually the I'm going to come to the other side. The Drupa pre-media conference. I don't know, the other way, right? The pre-Drupa media conference. That's what we had yesterday. Thank you for giving us the total screen.
I'm here anyway, so don't worry.
No, absolutely. So we, yesterday was the start of the PreDrupa media conference, and we had a chance to share quite some news with a global audience of editors, and really happy to share the same with you here today live on Inkish TV. So we introduced on the one hand, our theme for the Drupa, which is the power to move, which speaks, to our enabling technologies, to our enabling teams, and to our collaboration between ourselves, our technology channel partners, and our customers to, deliver the best solutions we can for the industries that we're active in. And we also did share an update, which we would like to do with you, on our stand and the stand design, and then quite some technology news. So that's why we're all here.
So I guess that we have a good opportunity to have a good 15 minutes talk about, I mean, maybe it's even too little time for all the things you're bringing to market right now, right? But yes. One of the things that, I mean, from the press releases, I think the iX 1700 and the upgrade of the Color Stream and Pro Stream was more or less awaited, I would say. But maybe the biggest surprise to me was that you seem to go really into packaging, both on the label side and corrugated. Tell me a little bit about that. I don't know who is the lead on that one, because I know we're going to talk about all the large format with Matthew, but who wants to talk about the packaging side?
Well, actually, we can all speak to it, but I think that it would be good to start on Matthew's side with what we're actually currently already doing in packaging, and then going into into
Perfect.
the news.
Yeah,
Perfect.
sure.
And Matthew, good to see you. It's been a while.
You do, yeah. It has been a little while. Good to
Yeah.
see you. Yeah. So from the packaging side, Morton, we looked at. We've announced yesterday an update to our Arizona range with a new technology called FlexFlow, which helps with the automation and transport of materials around the bed and brings a lot of time saving and efficiencies. But also in the context of packaging, we'll be showing at Drupa the UV gel packaging factory. So the Arizona for a long time has been used for short run production on packaging and displays for corrugated and folding carton. But with the UV gel, we now have a proposition that shows the ability to print onto a pre-print liner that is later then laminated to a corrugated. So traditionally called litholamination. But this area is particularly open to short run production for digital. So both for converters in packaging to enable short run and customization as packaging is used as a touch point with customers, such as with e-commerce, but also for niche products and tests as well. So a current proposition and some new technologies that will be on show that are showing the ability of digital print on demand to support packaging workflows as a key touch point. And again, packaging is something that can't be digitized. It's a key part of a logistics and supply chain to protect products and to help sell them. But then, of course, yesterday a big announcement from us was our corrugated concept, the result of study and product development as a single pass inkjet device. It's 1.7 meters wide.
And fast.
Will be capable of producing 8,000 square meters an hour. So on the stand, that will be shown as a concept and 3D model, but also with samples as well.
Can I ask you a question? Because I was wondering, it seems that, when we talk about the digital transformation and also all the products that are supporting in the different segments of the industry, I was just wondering, Canon has been a little bit late on both when it comes to packaging in general and also to labels. Is it a difficult market to penetrate, or had it to take some time to get into the real, let's say, technology before you thought you were ready for it?
It's something we talked about yesterday at the press conference, and we think now is the perfect time to bring some of these digital packaging opportunities. Less than 2% of the packaging market uses digital print, and much of that is actually in the labels business, where we're also active with new technologies as well. So we think that now is really the perfect time, both a mixture of the technology and the ability of that to support digital packaging workflows for us to enter this market.
And on the label side, Morten, I think you probably read as well that we have the label stream LS2000 that we actually first announced last October, but we will now have that live as a preview on Drupa as well. So with live label production, anywhere from printing to finishing, die cutting, and varnishing the latter parts together with a partner of ours. But we are very excited because that one is a water-based inkjet label press, and it will be able to print on paper and film. It's always one of the first questions you get when you say water-based inkjet, right? And it should also have a very broad application range because it's the inks are designed to be food safety standard compliant. So we're very much looking forward to that, and I think we will have for both label and packaging converters, a new proposition to share.
Is the LS2000 also let's say, a product that is born out of your acquisition of Ideal a couple of years ago?
No, that development actually started already before that. So it is a full Canon development with Canon inks, Canon printheads, Ideal is really helping us, of course, as on the one hand an internal technology provider, but also it's really an injection of knowledge into the labels and packaging space. But it was not involved in the label stream LS2000 development. But they surely are not.
Matthew, I visited Venlo a couple of years ago, and Hans, you don't have to think about the behind the scenes. I will not talk about that today. But one question I would like to ask you, Matthew, because when we were visiting your labs and saw the Arizona and Colorado. I think I heard, and I don't know if it's maybe that's what you refer to, but it seems that also the development of printheads is now of Canon printheads that you see in the large format machines. Is that the same kind of technology that you're now utilizing specifically in the packaging space?
The printheads on the Colorado are a Canon technology, as is the ink with the UV gel.
Yeah.
But it's at this time that it's dedicated to the UV gel technology.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's move on a little bit. The LX17. No, sorry. What's it called? 1700. It's called. I can't remember right now. Sorry.
IX 1700.
IX, yeah. So that is. It looks a little bit to me that it has another form factor than the IX 3200. So what is the biggest difference in this space?
So yeah, with the IX 1700, and Morten, please let me answer that question. That's really the start of now a seamless inkjet portfolio that we offer to our customer. That's the product that links our high-end image press V series lineup and allows customers to start migrating more work through the benefits of inkjet into high-quality applications. So the IX 1700 is a product offering 170 A4 images per minute, whereas the IX 2100 and 3200 offer productivity of 210 and 320 A4. So you can see from a productivity perspective in images per minute, there is a clear differentiator. Also, when it is about average monthly print volumes, the IX 1700 offers an ideal solution for print volumes starting at around 300,000 A4 up to 1.5 million, where then the IX 21 and 3200 will start being the commercially viable best choice for customers in a higher productivity class.
Are you
Screen,
sorry?
right?
Sorry, what?
It's just saying that you actually see that seamless inkjet portfolio that Hans was just talking about on the screen there behind him, which also indicates some of the other new announcements that you referred to before, Morten. So the extension of the ProStream series, with actually a new series with the ProStream 2000, but also the extension of the ColorStream series there.
I wanted to talk about that too, but I was just trying to understand, because when I look at Canon's inkjet portfolio, I mean, when I was also in Venlo, we spoke about how big market share Canon has really got in the market over the past years. But that also because it seems that you have a very dedicated product portfolio that go from, I wouldn't say low end, but lower end to the very high end volume-based thing. How much does, I mean, because I guess that you look into the numbers every day, how much does the lower end of the inkjet market eats into the toner-based market at current time?
Well, we really see that there is it's a good combination between toner and inkjet. So you see lots of inkjet installations actually having a toner presses installed next to them, right, for some possibly substrate diversity or other topics. So we don't see that it's an either or. It is more a complementary set of technologies. And for us also, what we do see is that there is, of course, a growth path. You know, there's quite some customers who might have multiple toner devices there, and there is an opportunity to upgrade towards inkjet if their volume allows.
And when we look upwards, at least you know, Hans, and I also knew Jennifer, because I always ask this question when we talk about the digital transformation in relation to whether now is time to exchange offset with inkjet. I was just thinking that with all the experience you have in the market during the past years, I guess that you hear what are the customers' demands for what speed, what size of format, and all these things are important in order to make that shift possible. So when you do something that is, let's say, even stepping up on this one, is that let's say a learning experience from being in the market and starting really this the digital transformation on a high level?
Yeah, we believe we are one of the leaders in that digital transformation, and I think we offer a great stack of technologies and products to actually support our customers. And as a leader being at the forefront, it is not only that our customers are going into new environments. Also, we go there together with them. So it is a combination of collaboration of customers, partners, and us that are on that journey. And we continuously develop new solutions, new features based on the feedback that we get. So it is a continuous loop of innovation, both in terms of technology and in business. And with these new additions to our portfolio, with the flagship 3160 of our ProStream with 160 meters per minute, we have a solution in place for the even higher productivity requirements on very heavy substrates. And we see that there's a lot of interest and momentum in what we call convergence. So traditional applications from transactional invoice statements, customers in that environments, they want to grow into new applications. So they need a solution that is capable also to print on coated material. So the ProStream 2000 is an ideal solution for those customers up to a substrate weights of 150 GSM, but still at the highest quality levels, and the broad variety of both offset coated, uncoated, and inkjet treated papers.
Fantastic. You just changed screen behind you, and I was thinking it can be two things. It can be a new dryer system for the IX, or it could be your booth at Drupa. So am I guessing either of them could be right?
You're right, it could be both, but it is the second. Indeed. That was just to give you a little glimpse of what to expect. We have, if we're looking at the combined space between our hosted hospitality as well as this exhibition space that you see here on screen, it's about 4,600 square meters. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible for everyone attending the show to orientate themselves. So we have, basically what you see on the lower side is over there. Is the main reception, and we're going to guide people into the into what we call the core. It's like a theater-like atmosphere, really an immersive, multisensory. Thank you, Hans. Exploration there, and we have a dedicated area also next to the product zone that is kind of circular around the core, where you see all of the solutions of ourselves as well as of many partners. We also have a dedicated area for visitors to engage with our experts, whether that is on business development and business models, on print media, on applications, etc. So really the how do I use technologies, enabling technologies in the best way to bring my business forward. And that's also the area where there's lots of inspiration from how brands are currently already using print to create very strong and powerful customer experiences. And so we'll have a lot to share for all the segments that we discussed last time already. We have arranged the stands kind of towards commercial printers, publishing, promotional communications, interior decor, labels and packaging, and then also in-house and cut printing. So no matter which interest, we will have, on the one hand, the solutions there. We have the experts there to talk with whom visitors can talk through how to best utilize those technologies. And in the core experience, we'll also give attendees to Drupa the possibility to get to know Canon from a little bit of a different angle, as they may have known us before.
Okay. Well, I think that everybody's talking about what we can do in order to make it attractive to go to Drupa, but I think you already showed that Canon is at least doing your part of it, right? It seems like a very interesting booth, and also with the product announcements, it seems to be extremely interesting to come and see that. Are you excited about Drupa, or how is it? Or is it more stressful right now, or how is that balance right now?
I personally wouldn't say it's either or. I'm extremely excited about Drupa, because what also to see together those thousands, tens, hundreds of thousands of people with their passion for print. That's exactly what gives a lot of energy. Of course, it's stressful, but it's a positive stress because we all aim for the same, a very successful show for us as well as for every other vendor and all the visitors that are coming to the show. So I'm sure it is worthwhile to visit Düsseldorf on May 28th.
Fantastic. And if I look a little bit distracted right now, it's because I'm both the producer, the host, and the tech guy here. So right now I am looking for Andreas Weber, who is my next guest. So we can keep talking until he rings. I don't know if...
Will we see you at Drupa?
Yeah. Okay, we will be there. As you know, we have our super content group, and we have so many exciting things that we have started to roll out now. So I know, for example, you, Jennifer, will be participating in our wonderful Bonjour together with Daniel Ernie from Hunkler. And I always think it's so fun to have these, because it's really more about having a good time, have a coffee, and you think a little bit about what has been seen around at the show. So I think that is one of the things I look very much forward to, I must say. So that's super great. I just have a little thing to say, because I can see that we have Eric and Wolfram and Oliver is already in the waiting room, in the green room. Can I basically ask you to only just come back 5 minutes before it's your time, because Andreas is trying to get in, but he cannot because we only have 4 spots. So if I can ask you to leave, okay, Eric was the first, so that is super great. So let's see if Andreas soon will be there. But Hans, Matthew, and Jennifer, it was wonderful to see you again, and I guess that we will have a chance to meet each other again on our next PreDrupa, which is on April 23rd, I think it is. So that will be super fun to see what you have for us next time. So thank you very much.
Looking very much forward to it, Morten. Have a successful session. We're looking very, very much forward to this, the next meeting, and then have a very successful TV show today.
And I will, by the way, tell also Hans, because I look forward to see you on Tuesday, right? So we will be in Poing and for hopefully see some of the stuff that you have been talking about today, right? So we can get a little bit of close-ups of everything we can show people when we are allowed to, right? So great, guys. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day ahead of you. Okay?
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See, when you do things live, things can go wrong, but here we have Andreas, my good friend Andreas. So, good morning, Andreas.
At least it worked.
Andreas, I just realized that when you have limited number of spots, and all our other guests for today are so eager to get on, they just put themselves in a line. But if you can just listen to it on English TV or YouTube or LinkedIn. So in case you want to follow it anyway, please do so. Andreas, how are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm not too bad.
Not too bad.
Quite okay. I see that I have now a camera conflict. I want to use my external high-res cam, and now it's switched to the Macintosh camera. Is that okay, or?
That's okay. You can also just log out and switch on again. And then when you have where you put in your name, there you can select 2 different cameras. So if you just leave me now and log in again, then I will be able to see you in a better quality.
Okay.
See, we are using a software called eCam that I found, I think, a couple of years ago. And the fantastic thing about eCam is basically that you have more or less like a TV studio where you can basically add people to a call. You can do effects and filters and transitions and things like that. But that doesn't mean that everything goes smooth, because it is always about also the other computers calling in. So let's see if Andreas now has things better here. Oh, there you are, my friend.
Yeah, so much better.
It made you look 10 years younger. Can that be true? Because then I would like to have that camera.
Yeah, Yeah, so it's my special Photoshop feature, make him more smart.
Fantastic. I don't think you need to be very smart, but what I do think is that though you have been a reporter, a journalist, an influencer, analyst for many years in the industry, can you give me just like 3 minutes? Who is Andreas Weber?
That's a good question. I'm asking this question every day to myself. Yeah. You know what? When I was really young, 14 years old, I got in touch with the graphic art side of printing. So I became, as a teenager, a teacher for kids, educating them how to do uh, uh, hand printing. So, and that was fascinating. And later on, I was fascinated by publishing my first article for a book and to see it printed. And when I was a young student, I worked for a big printing company for many years. And then I decided not to follow the topic of my studies, which was history of art. I switched to the communication business with a focus on print. Uh, and that was fascinating because I had this practical experience for many years. Any kind of print shop, I was able to manage and to create the production concepts and so on. And all of a sudden, I became an editor for Polygraph magazine, which was the leading magazines in the 80s and early 90s. And then a headhunter came and took me to Agfa Compugraphic, and I became a marketing manager on the industry side. So I had uh, in a early phase before I became professional, so many different experience, and print is wonderful because print connects. Uh, so the way when you are a good print producer, it's all about having a good communication to involve all the different parties to get a print job done, from the customer side to those side who um, recept the printed piece at the end of the day. And that was so interesting. And after my industry experience, I decided to found my own businesses, and I became an entrepreneur. I founded half a dozen different companies, and the focus I got more and more was the focus of an analyst who is also able to publish, because
That
as an
is.
analyst, yeah, as an analyst, you are really, you can see what is in the future, but you are not allowed to talk about it. But you have to prepare your audience what will come without sharing all the secrets. And that was a good training for many years. And I'm still in that business, and I comment on everything. If people like it or don't like it, I don't care. Yeah. So I really observe, I monitor, and that's interesting. And therefore, Drupa is a very important part of my life and my business.
Um, when I got to know you years ago now, it was also because it was in the COVID that we started talking about many different topics basically. And one of the things that, and the reason why I asked you to participate in these pre-Drupa events is because you're totally right that one of the things that you are good at is both the analyzing part of it, but you also you're not afraid of opinionating it. And I think that, I don't know about you, but I think that this industry can only get stronger if we are also able to talk about the, let's say, more negative things, and basically have an open discussion, because it's part of the democracy that we can discuss things, but it's also part of business development that you can say that, okay, this is good, let's emphasize this is bad, let's get less of this. You have written a series on LinkedIn called Qua Vadis Drupa, or Quo Vadis Drupa. Can you tell me a little bit about it? Because it's a combination of a journey for you, but it's also about having views on different kind of topics during that journey, right?
Yeah. So I got this idea because the let's call it the advanced communication for Drupa is very important. Yeah. So not only start with the day first of Drupa to communicate about the beauty of Drupa and also the challenge behind Drupa. And therefore, I decided to make a mix, a lot of short stories, not very long. I call them episodes. And Quo Vadis is my background as art historians is always Latin. Yeah. And that's a good format for me to share my experience and also my observation, and to start discussions. And I'm very happy that many thousands of print professionals and others uh, are uh, are reading my stories and more respond to that. And this is a form of dialogue we need, to talk not only about topics, to talk about positioning, observations, opinion, and also critical questions. I think in our industry, we have not enough critical questions. We always believe what somebody is promising, and
Yeah.
that's not good.
We don't have so much time here today, unfortunately. But one thing I would like you to, because you also written about that, because I was a little funny comment as well. But it is like one of the slogans of the Drupa is that we create the future, and I don't believe that Drupa
Yeah.
is creating the future. What is your opinion about that?
Yeah, so I've just made a separate post and updated it this morning. And because you cannot create the future, as a human being, maybe you can a little bit influence what will happen in the future with your behavior today. That's what you can do. But no organization, no company is able to create the future. The future is coming on its own. So, and much better would be something like to create more confidence for the future. That would be a good slogan.
But
Not we create the future. It's so generic,
yeah.
and at least it makes no sense because
I would say that
you
the reason why I was hesitant to it is because I think that if you exaggerate it, and I don't underestimate the work that goes into creating such a large event as Drupa, but I'm just saying that what really makes Drupa interesting is not the frame but the content of it, and that is in this
yeah
case about 1,400 something different vendors that are bringing their products and service and engineering power and marketing power to Düsseldorf. And I think that is maybe, and that's why I was a little bit hesitant when I saw it. And then I saw your article and I just said, okay, I was not the only one that was questioning that, because basically there's so many sides to it, I would say, right? So I think it's more important. The vendors and the exhibitors are more important than Drupa in that relation, at least, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And when you go back for the history of Drupa for more than 50 years, uh, the main part of the history of Drupa was Drupa, a platform for what we call genre marketing or generic marketing for print. And since the year 2000, it switched to become a pure technology show.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you have a different Drupa. And I think today we need more, again, this old version of Drupa to create a generic marketing for the whole industry. And then we have to balance what is Drupa able to deliver, what is the job of Drupa in that sense, and what is the market expecting. Yeah. And it's also good when you have this kind of ongoing dialogue I used to have. Then you see there are totally different questions not related to technology, and they have to be answered. And Drupa is a great opportunity as a platform for the whole worldwide industry to support us in that sense. For example, how can I run my business profitable? How can I adopt my go-to-market to the digital age? How to address lucrative market niches and new business areas. Canon is good in answering those questions, by the way, and which added value services are rewarded by the customer. Not only what you have to offer, what is rewarded. And these are, for me, crucial questions, and I expect that Drupa is able to deliver answers, or at least new ideas to come closer to those answers.
Thank you very much for your time, Andreas. Will you join me again on April 23rd, or don't you have time for that?
No, for sure. It's a great pleasure.
Super.
So then, good luck for today. You have a great group of people, and
I hope you
most
will.
of them I know them already, but I'm always curious to experience what they think today and
Fantastic.
what they express.
Fantastic. Thank you, Andreas, and see you soon. And
Bye bye.
here's a little jingle for the next guest here. And here we have Mr. Oliver Barr from König & Bauer. So good morning and welcome, Oliver.
Morning, Morten. Good to speak to you, and nice to meet you here.
Likewise. And, I had a little difficulties with you, and you know why? Because you have been with König & Bauer, and when I looked at your LinkedIn profile, and also for trying to figure out what you were doing, König & Bauer, I missed that you changed from packaging to commercial, right? So when I found you presenting the both the VariJet, but also the what's it called, the other one you have, the big one you have.
Yeah. So let's say this commercial on my title basically is not about a commercial printing. It's about the commercial part of product management. So there's probably a bit of misleading in the title. Probably would have been chosen better. But actually, I had change. I have been at König & Bauer for 8 years. Then I joined over to König & Bauer to have there the product management for the SBC, PreDrupa, and VariJet. And then I switched back, and we made a decision within König & Bauer that the product management has to be on a broader scale. So we made it kind of a split of the product management. There we have the technical part of product management, which leads a colleague, and I lead all the commercial things in the product management and also the go-to-market topic. So that's the reason I have this commercial topic on my title, and sorry for making you even more confusing about it.
But, I would just have like two horns and saying that, okay, I'm stupid here, sorry about that.
No. You're not the only one, I have to say. We probably have to rephrase or rethink about the title at a certain point, but I have to say,
Despite
commercial.
Despite this, Oliver, one thing that it is also clear evidence of is that if you look at König & Bauer as a company, the wide spectrum of products and services that you offer is amazing. I don't know if you heard it, but when I spoke to the people from Canon, I mean, they're extending their inkjet line to be a very broad inkjet line. But if you look at König & Bauer, from flexoprint to banknotes to digital packaging to offset packaging, I mean, you have such a big line of products, and it's one of the big players in the industry. So obviously, there's a lot of things to handle, I guess, right?
Yeah, basically, I would say, or I would suppose, König & Bauer is the one-stop shop for packaging. We as you mentioned it or phrased it already, we do offset printing from small size to super size format. We have CI flexo presses. We do corrugated digitally via the König & Bauer joint venture, and we have it also on flexo. We do digital RotaJet. We do, let's say, in the folding carton market, we have the VariJet 106 with a sheet fed base, and we have the RotaJet, which is, let's say, web based. We do marking and coding. We do glass. We do metal. We do die cutters and photo gluers. So basically, we are the one-stop shop for packaging from more or less all the applications we have.
And when you say that, I like that for many reasons. First of all, I think that it's always easier for people when they have a one-stop shop, of course. But I also think there's another thing to it, and that shows the diversity of print. In commercial print, sometimes people are thinking it's a dying business, but it's a changing business, right? And when you talk about printing on glass, on cans, on paper, on board, and all these kind of things, it just shows that the market is changing from not just printing on paper, but printing on a variety of substrates, right?
Yeah, it's really I would say the variety. Basically, one of the sub slogans we had or internally is we bring ink to a substrate, no matter which substrate it is. If it's, let's say, glass on common, where we do hollow containers, and all the packaging stuff we do. And besides that, printing goes even beyond. I heard also in the Canon colleagues that have interior decoration. We are, let's say, very strong in the decor printing industry for flooring and furniture decorates, as I would say, kind of a market leader for single pass inkjet in this kind of flooring and furniture decorating. And this is a market which is probably not even thought about in the public audience. So down there, and if you talk to, let's say, your friends which are probably not exposed to the graphic arts industry, they think, well, printing might probably be a tough market. And probably it is a tough market, but you just go through a supermarket and you see everything is printed.
Yeah,
and
that's
you
true.
stay printed for quite a long while, and you walk over a flooring decorate and it's printed. You have your clothing, your gear, your textiles, all this printed. So print industry is stronger than a lot of people think.
True. Your work, when it is not commercial print and so basically tell me a little bit about what you do, and we also have to talk a little bit about what to expect from you guys at Drupa. I saw that both Ralf Samek and also Dr. Pleske was at the PreDrupa event yesterday, but I came from the US yesterday, so I have still not heard what they brought to the table, but maybe you know.
Let's say I'm a bit, let's say, I shouldn't say disconnected, but in this point, but we will show a lot of solutions around in the packaging industry. As mentioned, we are the one-stop shop for packaging. We will show a fully featured packaging workflow on the show, including digital solutions, including AI-based digital solutions for packaging, as well as printing, die cutting, folding, gluing. So basically, from the white plain sheet of paper down to a fully ready, fully embellished box, basically. This is probably one of the main key roles we show there. Apart from that, and I want to point this out, we also work on the artificial intelligence and digitalization quite heavily, and we will also, let's say, show something very important thing here in order to help our customers to differentiate, and also to help our final end clients really to differentiate with solutions based on digital solutions for
one of the things one of the things I've always been intrigued by when I speak to you and your colleagues is that Koenig & Bauer is, I think you're still the oldest of the, let's say, the offset manufacturers, but I think that you may be one of the companies that have the best and clearest focus on the future, because you have you collaborate with HB, you have collaboration with Durst, you have your own rotor development, you have a lot of development in offset space, of course, but you have also started investing a lot in the let's say in the finishing space of it. But you have a lot of things that people don't know so much about. That is also using AI for energy programs with your customers. That is not just Koenig & Bauer, basically giving a wider. I mean, how difficult? I mean, you work for Koenig & Bauer. How difficult is it sometimes to have a portfolio that is so broad and then bring everything to market?
Well, I'd say this way. I think we have a quite intelligent business unit structure where we say we have the special printing solutions, we have metal and common, for example, also banknote, but this is not regarding packaging. And then we have a sheet fed division, and I'm self within the digital map fed division. So I'm not on corporate level, I'm digital map fed. So we concentrate all these knowledges about the different applications in these different business units. However, we also have a kind of a group-wide product management team that's exchanging ideas, exchanging developments, and exchanging also what could be the best solution for the customers. And apart from that, we also do kind of group sales that is also again above the business units in order to coordinate the go-to-market. So I think we are quite good in doing the special things for the simple applications, having the dedicated solutions for the dedicated applications the business unit addresses. However, we also have this group approach where we say, okay, dear Mr. Big packaging customer, what's your problem today? And we as Koenig & Bauer as group definitely can solve it.
Must be fun working there.
It is fun.
Yeah.
You know, I'm now 12 years with the company. It's more or less, I shouldn't say all day challenge, but it's always it is challenging. On the other hand, it is also a big fun. And if you have the chance to bring a company with that heritage of Koenig and Bauer. We were founded 1817, and getting there, the digital spirit being driven forward, heading the RotaJet product for a while, then joining the Koenig Bauer joint venture, bringing the VariJet somehow forward, and we show this press live on Drupa as well. I think that's a real, I shouldn't say an adventure, but it is a pretty cool task in order to bring this digital spirit forward and say we are more than 200 years old and we want to be probably 400 years old. And so therefore we have to change, and being, let's say, part of a team that drives the change is I would say, fantastic.
Yeah, but that was also when I said before that I think that looking at the older companies, that I think that you are very forward-looking, because I mean I look very much forward to. I have seen the VariJet in your labs in Radebeul, but I look forward to see it finished and up and running with a client where you can see the productivity that you have worked hard for many years about doing that. But one thing is seeing the machine and the productivity it does, but it also shows the dedication for the future that you talk about. That is maybe in a wider perspective maybe more interesting, really, because this seems to be only the first collaboration between you and Durst, right?
It is a collaboration. Yeah, we have formed a joint venture in 2019, and it was a pleasure to be one of the drivers also of this thing inside. And I think we're already going one step beyond. We have established digital printing. We install presses. We have a collaboration, as you mentioned, with Durst and with HP, thinking about how can we digitize this printing market. However, we go a step beyond already with the group of Sandra Wagner, who's driving our digitalization department, basically, and thinking about how can we benefit as Koenig & Bauer, and how can we benefit from our customers' perspective. How can we, let's say, help the customers to go forward with software solution and AI-based solutions. And that's probably even a next step. So it is really good for me and trustworthy to know that we have already the next step in mind.
I would say that I share your view on Sandra Wagner. I had the pleasure of having her at our non-event in Copenhagen 2 years ago, and I was deeply fascinated about her knowledge and also the journey that she's responsible for within your company. I also saw that she gave an interview to what I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, where she was talking about, about the journey that Koenig & Bauer is on, and how the digital transformation takes place within your company. And I must also say that when I listen to her and I think about the size of a company like Koenig & Bauer, it's not an easy task, right? I mean, it's something that requires a lot of work, right?
She has a very dedicated group, let's say this. First, she's extremely dedicated. Second, her group is extremely dedicated. Yeah. And it's, let's say, it's hard to find an appointment with her, actually. But if you have the chance to have an appointment, it is really quite fruitful. And we see, I think at Drupa, we're going to see first interesting stuff. We benefit already from the solutions. And if we, let's say, talk about the service topics we also address on Drupa, we also see solutions based on the Sandra Wagner solutions also for service that help our customers again to, let's say, getting better service and let's say, running the presses higher efficiency and let's say, better maintenance, whatever.
Fantastic. Oliver, anything you want to add? Because we are in the last minute here. So I was just wondering.
Already?
Yeah. Time flies by, right? It's good to come.
Time flies.
Yeah.
So first, I want to welcome you on the Koenig & Bauer booth at Drupa. We're going to show interesting and thrilling solutions out of different markets. One thing is definitely packaging. The other thing is also we show show cars of the next generation digital solutions for specific markets. Also digital printing and also downstream finishing. So really, it would be absolute pleasure to host you on our booth, and we're looking forward to having a successful Drupa 2024.
I look very much forward to that. By the way, will you also be at in Radebeul when you have the Koenig Bauer Durst open house?
Unfortunately, it doesn't work out because actually I'm not responsible for the coding about those Giovanni anymore. So therefore, it's Daniel Velema's show basically. I would
Oliver, you could just pop in just for a beer and say hi, right? That's what I'm asking, right?
I would love to do it. I would love to do.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time here, and I look forward to see you next time. Thank you very much, and say hi to everybody at PreDrupa that I know. Right?
See you, Drupa. Thank you. Take care.
Bye. And for our next guest, here's a little jingle here. Wolfram from HP.
Good morning, Morten.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you. Can you hear me as well?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Fantastic. Thank you for jumping in, because I think that your colleagues Adi and Mark, they wanted Mark to be on camera, but then I get the pleasure to meet you instead, right?
Yeah, I hope it's a pleasure, but Mark is taking a vacation, and he deserves it. Just right in front of Drupa, we all need some energy, refreshing the batteries. So I hope you're fine with me. I think I have some experience in the corrugated market, and there's a lot of things going on in that market, and I'm very happy talking to you.
Yeah, I'm more than pleased that you're here, Wolfram. So don't worry about that. You're working specifically with let's say, I mean, we have to get used to that. Everything in HP now is industrial print, right? But you work in that sector that has to do with your let's say corrugated presses, right?
Right.
Yeah. So for people that, just for you know them, for example, that is the Page White 550C, for example, right? And I remember that because I've just been visiting one of your customers in America, making a film from them, and that was an amazing experience to see how the digital transformation also takes place in the corrugate. I mean, it is in all segments, of course, right? But it is interesting. I mean, with your experience, would you say that it is it a surprise to you that sometimes it goes so fast?
You know, I don't think it's going fast, first of all. I think it goes very slowly in baby steps. I just read a comment yesterday from your colleague, Dan Branton, and he says, even the giants are making baby steps in the corrugated business. And I think that's correct. You know, it's a very traditional industry, the corrugated industry. It's, would say, not as attractive to brands and retailers in the first place, like folding carton, flexible packaging of labels. And you clearly see the adoption rate and the performance, what HP is doing and others in that environment. Corrugated is a little bit more of an expertise segment where you need, let's say, a strong value proposition, and you need some experience and some failures. Failures are very important in that environment because the corrugated industry is really a kind of a dusty, dirty industry, and most boxes are brown, and let's say flexo print is still predominant. There's a huge adoption rate. You have seen that in the US, like companies are doing that, like the Box Maker, for example, and some other really great ones in Europe are picking up and really looking into lighter lamination equipment is getting old. We need to do something else, and they're looking into the offering of HP. So it's not about, let's say, it's about what's happening in the future. It's happening today. Because it's already started back in 2016 with the first version of the C500. And now we have the C550 just launched some 14 months ago. So it's not a Drupal launch, it's no 3D drawing, it's no PowerPoint presentation with no substance. It's really a real product in the second generation. And it's a go-to-market product. And you can see that in a lot of installations. There are more than 20 installed worldwide now, and this is quite an adoption rate. And I think what makes that product quite successful is that this press is printing. It's printing one shift, it's printing two shifts. Very few printing three shifts. It's not about the capability of the machine. It's still about the let's say, the way how corrugated companies are thinking. And we see a lot of these Vista prints and Fly Alarms and Saxo prints and you name it, all these big players on the market looking into other applications. And I'm pretty sure that these guys are picking up quite soon on corrugated and corrugated display with water-based inks, because I think it fits perfectly in their offering towards smaller and medium businesses. And they have the go-to-market. They know how to sell. They know how to market this kind of product. So it's quite an interesting space, and I'm really looking forward to Drupa, because it's really a platform to share some information, to talk to the people, to really get an understanding what's next, in particular in my environment.
I agree with everything you said, and when I spoke about that things are going fast, I was not referring specifically to corrugated. I was just thinking. Last week I was at the HP PreDrupa event in Indianapolis, and Noam Silberstein said basically that within the next 20 years, HP expect that all labels will be printed in digital, and maybe even sooner. And I was just thinking that if you look at ceramics, that's almost 100% today, right? If labels is almost 100% within a short time, I was just thinking that the digital transformation, in generally speaking, in print, is maybe going on faster than we could expect. I know that both folding carton and corrugated, you want it to go faster. You want to sell, of course, right? but I think that also that you learn from it, right? Because if you think of the corrugators, I think that at least in my opinion, maybe you prove me wrong, but I was thinking that first of all, it's very, very big machines that are in that segment. I mean, they are very big, they are very fast, and still in Flexo, if you look at the variable costs, still considerably different. I'm not saying cheaper, because there's a value proposition too, but different from digital. So I think that, as you're right, also that it has to be a demand from the brand owners in order to have that as a marketing and communication piece before that will really push the requirements from towards what you're talking about. But I was thinking one more thing, and that was, and maybe you can tell the audience a little bit, because I think in Europe there's a new legislation pushing that traceability on packaging, typically either by a QR code or some other kind of code, so you can see the origin of things. Is that something that you think will help the digital transformation in corrugated?
Yeah, yes and no. It's no straight yes. It's fantastic. It's coming, and this is really increasing the rate of digital presses in corrugated plants tremendously. I think there's something to it. It's very important if you talk to these industry leaders in a corrugated environment. You know, there's international papers, there's Murphy Kappas, West Rocks, DS Smith, and Mondis. There's a lot going on bigger scale, on mergers. There's even some rumors on some smaller scale with some family-owned businesses going on. And this is good. There's some tension in the market because of the paper prices. The paper prices have been very low, and some of these companies, they own huge paper mills. They haven't earned much money. So we see the paper prices increasing. That's helpful, because that gives them some really backwind and fuels some let's say some investments. And digital prices are one of them. The other thing is automatization. You see a robot in front and the back of the machine, that makes sense, but you can't grow a business by just automating it. Yeah, you get rid of let's say of some labor which is would say not desirable in the future, because feeding a machine by hand and unloading it by hand, there are better jobs out there. And I think there are these people, you can train them on other things, and this is good. It's a good thing. So it's not taking away jobs. Everybody is short of labor. It's just moving jobs and more high-skilled labor, which is a huge development, I believe. And on the other hand, you see of digital presses, because all these Flexo operators, these skills in Flexo, washing the Flexo plates, cleaning it, replacing it, and back and forth. It's a job profile which is not people anymore. So a digital press, you see these people on the digital press. It's a completely different thing to operate. You see it on a label press, and it's not much different on these big corrugated presses. So I think there is something going on, and the brand owners are for sure driving it. And this variable data thing with the, let's say, European Union, it helps. But there are a lot of elements, and if you talk to corrugated businesses, I'm doing that a lot on an international scale. You need to have a good understanding how to go to market, how to implement it in your operations, and then it will be a successful installation. The good thing is the product is now really ready to go to market. It's not a product which is a beta or alpha version. It's a second generation press, and it's below 5 million. So for those companies who want to print something like 15 million a year in 3 shifts, it's quite a good solution for them.
Referred to the film we did from Sutherland Packaging in the US just a few months ago, and it's quite interesting because it was it is a brown box flexo printing company, as you spoke about, and now it is the third generation of company taking over now by below 40 in the early 30s, I guess, owner, right? And that is also quite interesting because I think that the value proposition in having when you hand over, let's say, a family-owned company to the next generation, this is probably a very good step, because what they saw from investing in the C550 was basically new types of customers, POS, as you said, but also a conversion of existing brown box customers into 4-color boxes that had a much higher value for the retailers and for the people that are using the boxes. So even though it's let's say a new period of time, I still think that you are in a good position, because you started as HP, you started investing in this years ago. I don't know if you heard this morning with Canon, where they introduced, but they are new in this market, right? So they have to get that knowledge that you have built up for a long time before they get to the knowledge level that you have. And I guess that goes to the same with other people that wants to be in that market, that you cannot. It's not just about the machines; it's also an understanding of what is going on in the board meetings and in the productions of these big companies, right?
Yeah, even what you're absolutely right, that this let's say this announcement from Canon to want to be in the corrugated market in 2026, by the end of 2026, it's still a prototype, it's still on the drawing, but it's a commitment from them to they want to go to the corrugated industry. They see a market there. So it's always good to have competition. I think it helps, because if there's no competition, there's no market. So it's a good story, and this will fuel the let's say these discussions and what's needed. For sure, there's one thing: water-based thing is the thing. HP decided very, very early to go water-based, and this is now very helpful, because these regulations we're talking about are not happening only on the QR codes; they're happening on the environmental friendliness and on the, let's say, food safety, and that's a big thing. That's a big thing.
I can't help think about that. When I talk to let's say your colleagues and your competitors in the same, let's say, the commercial space, the T2 series, 3 series, 4 series segment, and I talk to them about the competition. Everybody talks about positive competition, but they also say that it is interesting, because in the digital transformation, it's not really fighting each other. It's more fighting about getting the 98% of the market under the digital. So I guess that besides having the positive effect of competition, I guess it's also, let's say, opening more doors, because the more people that are knocking the door and talk about all the advantages of digital, it makes it easier for each of you to come out and talk to them at the next level, basically, right?
Yeah, you're right. That's always true. It's always true. Where's competition, there's a market, and this is very important. And the big thing is with HP, and you learned that in the US, AI is coming. Technology makes a difference. That's important. And all these future-ready activities within HP, these are helping customers to discuss about their business needs. And you've been right. This moving from brown to let's say more color packaging. Even you can print nice colors on brown, right? That's possible. But these young generations are taking over, and you're absolutely right. There's a generation shift, and there's a mind shift. And my kids are now 22 and 23. Yeah, so one of them is a packaging student. Yeah, and they have a completely different way of thinking. Yeah, they are just more open-minded. They're just more solution-oriented, and they want something different from a packaging vendor than in the past. They want to have these campaigns, these Facebook campaigns and these Instagram campaigns, and they want to have these campaigns converted on a box. Yeah, so they don't think about the box in the first place. They think about the campaign in the first place, and then they think about the box. And if the corrugated industry can offer some, let's say, additional value, this helps, because the business itself will not grow. The brown box business will not grow. But we have seen in all our installations that you can grow your business even in difficult times over the last 2 years in a corrugated environment with a digital press. So when everything is going down, digital is going up. It's not about these, let's say, billions and billions of square meters in volume. It's more about these millions of square meters with a high value.
Precisely. Wolfram, it was a pleasure to have you here on Inkish, our PreDrupa. I hope to see you or one of your colleagues at the next one as well. That is on April 23rd. And I guess that the closer we get to Drupa, the more interesting things will take place. But you said that you would be on Drupa in your Big Hole 17 and have an opportunity to talk to people, right?
Yeah, more than full time for me. It's a full-time job, especially for my let's say European customers, and I'm German speaking as well. So all these German clients, the Austrians and the Swiss and so forth. So I'm really excited to be at Drupa. Very excited meeting you there. And today it was all about the corrugated press. So next time you talk about some other nice, very interesting products coming up the road from HP.
Super great. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Morten. Thank you for having me.
Oh, there I was. Hey, Volker, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks, Morten.
Good
Thanks
to see
for having me.
And I can see that you have also a camera on you from your experience center. Do you want me to bring that on now, or is that later, or is it just to have it there, or?
Well, you can share it probably.
Okay, I will put it on here so we have that, and then we can talk. So, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. Busy preparing Drupa, of course.
It's funny that every time I talk to you, you are quite busy. So you must have a lot of things to do at Müller Martini, right?
Yeah, I cannot complain.
And I think it's also been wonderful because every time we have been doing our bonjour in the US together and talking together, I think it's very enlightening, and I think it's interesting because Müller Martini as a I mean, I know that you on your website say that you're only about 80 years old, but I have studied you guys there. You go way longer back if you take the two families side by side, right? But it is interesting because you have become a company that is, in my opinion, super interesting. Also because you have made a transformation to serve the digital market, and I guess that a transformation like that is not always as easy as it looks on paper, right?
No, that's correct. We heavily transformed the company. You're right, coming from or having had a very large footprint in the market, in particular when it comes to conventional web offset as well as gravure. The largest companies around the world had been our clients, but that has changed over the years, and we heavily worked on digital transformation internally as well as for solutions to serve our clients.
And every time I have also made these bonjour programs with you, I think that one of the things I really like is that the humor and the let's say the personal approach you have to the people you meet is probably not making it more difficult for you, right?
No, that's correct. And I think that is the spirit of a family-owned business. being the owner and the CEO, the Müller family being extremely close to all employees. They walk the fires for the family. And I think that's our DNA, and that's why we so committed to what we do each and every day.
And then you sent out a press release some months ago about Hunkler. I guess that it has given you also a little bit extra work. Plus, I guess also a lot of people from the industry have wanted to talk to you. So how has that been for you guys?
Well, it still does give us some work. The integration work works extremely smoothly and nicely. As people might not know, we have been friends and partners for decades. In fact, the founder of our company, Hans Müller, worked from 1942 to 1946 at Hankeler. And the Hankeler family kind of motivated Hans Müller, who is our founder, to start his own business. And that's how it all started for Müller Martini. And we know the past history. The company has grown substantially, and over the years, we did acquire the post-press business of Heidelberg. Apart from the folding machines, we did acquire Colbus in 2018, and now Hankeler became a family member. However, the Hankeler brand will stay. We will, by all means, preserve that very strong brand. And a very large commitment to this is that we will continue to have the Hankeler Innovation Days as they were. So Hankeler becoming a family member, but having their own identity.
See, that was the most important thing I think you could give to most of us that are interested in the industry, and that is that the Hunkler Innovation Days keeps going. I still think that is one of the best events in the industry, because it is. I always like this statement from Hans Gut that it is not about so much about champagne and naked girls, but more about technology running on the show floor, right? So that is super nice. Volker, what does an event like Drupa means for you guys?
Well, it's of course very important to us because we can see and meet our clients that come from around the globe. This time it's even more important because we haven't seen the guys for some 8 years to some extent. However, we participated in Printing United and some more local activities, but on a global scale speaking, this is extremely important to us. As you might know, we've given ourselves the theme of driving the digital transformation, and we would like to support, guide, and consult our clients no matter where they stand in their digital transformation journey, and no matter if they are bookbinderies, commercial printers, or very large-scale e-commerce corporations. So I think we are a good company to talk to, and we have a lot to tell.
When you say e-commerce, is that like, just to put it in the face, is that like companies like Amazon and those kind of companies, or is it the different? Okay,
companies as such, yes.
Okay, yeah. So that
being
basically
very strong in the book markets, and companies as such, yeah.
Yeah. So that basically means that is also, it's always interesting to see what is going on in the markets, because they are rapidly changing, of course, right? So I think that when Jeff Bezos started Amazon 100 years ago, you never thought that he should be a customer for Müller Martini, I guess, right? But that is just how the world is changing, right?
Well, I guess he always had a very specific touch to books.
Yeah.
And maybe that is the foundation. But what we see there, we saw all over the place. We started some two decades ago with a very large scale publishers in the US. They wanted to get rid of their stocks, basically. And that's when we started our endeavors with the digital book block building with the Sigma Line family, now having a narrow web solution that kind of rounds our portfolio, addressing much more the smaller scale clients as well. And with this, we have become very attractive to basically all digital press manufacturers.
If you look at and I don't know if I'm right what I'm saying now, so you please correct me, but I was thinking that if I look at if I look at Müller-Martini as a supplier in the binding industry, I see that there might be competitors that are working up to your lowest ends of capacity, and then you have like you are basically taking from somewhere in the mid segment up. With all these digital transformation that takes place in many different printing companies, are you considering from time to time also creating machines that are aimed for, let's say, smaller printing companies, or am I wrong in understanding where you are positioned today?
Well, I think whatever we do needs to serve the aspect of industrial purpose, because that's our history and our legacy, I would say. So whatever kind of client is around, he needs to address the more industrial purpose of production, and that's where we fit in extremely well. However, we serve smaller scale, as I said before, as well as the very large corporations. And we will not be like we will not serve the copier shop type of environments. That's not our playground.
No. The reason I was asking was mainly because I always find it interesting to think of that. If you look at Intergraph in Europe, they still claim to represent 112,000 printing companies in Europe, and I guess that when you look at that size of or that number of companies, it is from mom and pop shops to the largest one, and it's always like when you have a business and you want to grow it, and there's a digital transformation taking place. I was just wondering that sometimes you probably need to reevaluate your product strategies in order to get as much market share as possible, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And we've always been also with these moms and pop shops historically with smaller scale, perfect binder, saddle stitchers, what have you. And you'll be surprised entering our booth. We will have a very nice combined solution, a world premiere actually with Hankala and Müller-Martini on our booth that addresses much more the entrance level, recalling your thoughts on Drupa and the digital cut sheet developments. I think it's worthwhile coming by and see what we will display. There's more information to be shared with the audience in the course of April. And I think with this solution, we kind of also stress the strengths that come along with Hankala being a family member now and combining the strengths of both companies.
I mean, it would be strange to acquire a company and don't take the synergies, right?
Of course.
So when I see you at your headquarters on April 11th, then it would be possible to make some film that we can later show the audience about what you have been cooking.
Yes. What you can see behind me, that is the pre-staging for our digital or smart book factory. Basically, that's unwinded via Hankala into a book block solution. That's where we built the book block going directly into seamlessly in one path into that perfect binder, and off comes a very nice softcover book that's being trimmed on our trim robot, and then we have a little distribution cell behind it, so that takes away manual interaction. We believe this is the most productive and most automated system that is around. Things like this you can see, but also that world premiere. So you should be thrilled.
Okay, and as you know, the purpose of these PreDrupa and is of course that we can make it attractive for people to come to Düsseldorf to see your equipment and get to talk to you guys, of course, right? So I mean, when I see a setup like this, and you also when you say that it's a very productive books of one production setup, I get very intrigued by it, because it's like. I think I just spoke to HP in the corrugated market before you came on board here, and it's funny to see that the digital transformation we spoke about. He said that it was baby steps in the corrugated, but I think that in the book publishing market, it is absolutely not baby steps right now, is it?
No, it's. I mean, the publishers and the book producers have been extremely superior when it comes to this, because there was a big request in getting away from the stock books or the books that could not have been sold. They have been sent back to the factories, probably destroyed. that is not very appealing when it comes to sustainability that we talk a lot about. So producing what you need is the key, and that has been driven extremely by the publishers and the book producers. And with this, we learned a lot together with these clients, and that has been mastered over the years. Workflow becoming extremely important to that. By the way, we run all these things with our own Müller-Martini workflow suite, Connex, which is configurable. So basically, we retrieve data from customers' MIS, send it to the shop floor, produce, and then have a seamless report function back to the clients.
Last question, or maybe even more statement, is that whenever I see your technology and also some of your competitors' technology, I can't help think about how complex it must be engineering these kind of equipment. I mean, I know that the mechanical part of producing books in thousands of copies, of course, also require a lot of things and a lot of time to setting these up. But now you're capable of doing fantastic, beautiful books in copies of one, different formats, different spine sizes, and it just produces, right? I mean, it is a tribute to your engineers that it is at all even possible. So, Volker, with that said, thank you very much for having that you took time to be here. I always enjoy talking to you, so I will see you soon. I look forward to that. So, thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me, Morten.
Always.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Hello, Thomas.
Good afternoon. Good lunch, Morten.
There's a little bit noise in your end. Do you have some speakers turned on, or what is happening?
Okay, let's see here.
Sounds like a race car that you have in the background. Are you watching some NASCAR or something like that in the background on YouTube?
Well, no, I'm not actually.
Can you hear yourself? Okay,
Can you hear me now?
It is still there, but we can talk. We figure that out. Okay.
Is it okay? You're okay?
It's okay. Can you hear me? Let's go on, Thomas. It's okay. No worries.
Okay, fair enough. Very good.
So I guess that you are in Sweden, or where are you?
Yeah, I'm in our factory in Ljungby, Sweden, southern part. We are waiting, obviously, now to have spring come in. Easter is coming big time here.
Yeah, fantastic. Thomas, since the last time we met each other in a scope like this, you have acquired a company called Sigma.
Yeah, obviously there has been a lot of interesting moves since we met last time, and as you say, it was announced last year that we have acquired another Italian company, Sigma, and obviously there has been a lot of actions, a lot of interest from that move, and now, as you most likely have seen, there has been a lot of interesting exhibitions where we have shown different type of Sigma solution. And of course, target is here obviously a different type of packaging solution for direct mail, commercial print, and also dynamic packaging solution for books and print-related logistics.
When you acquired Sigma, I did an interview with your boss Stefano from your headquarters in Italy, and one of the things that he said to me, as far as I remember, was that with the acquisition of Sigma and with an increased focus on paper-based packaging rather than plastic-based packaging, there could be a lot of synergies between the Techno production and also the Sigma production. I know it's very early, but do you also see that as a vision that could be interesting to see how that develops?
Yeah, for sure. And I think the key here for future interest, and obviously to be able to handle different type of requests, is that we have a capability to find a solution which fits the customer need. If the customer wants to have paper-related material, we can have different type of solutions for that. If they prefer plastic, we can also have that. So I mean, we are able to do different type of solutions, and then obviously the key is to be able to control it from a software perspective.
Yeah.
And that has been the success for Sigma solution.
Just before you got on board for this PreDrupa thing here, we had a chat with Volker Leonhardt from Müller Martini, and we spoke about books of one production. I have seen that you have also some really interesting books of one production with the Libre 800. I've seen it, of course, with
and now we're going into Drupa, and that's very interesting. And actually, last time at Drupa, 2016, 8 years ago, long time ago, we actually at that time showed Drupa at Drupa the Libre 800 solution at that time, and of course, solution is today still available.
Yeah.
And of course, throughout the years, there's been some interesting enhancements concerning different type of input channels, and obviously also in different type of configurations. But the target is obviously Book of One, and yeah, we are able to in a very flexible way handle that type of applications in an effective way.
When I saw the Libre 800 for the first time, and that was with Rotomail in Italy, in Milan, I was kind of blown away, because here you have in their case, it's a total roll to books production, where they had like 2 rolls for different types of covers. It must be incredibly difficult to do products that can do all that, because it's also a fast machine, right?
Yeah, well, obviously depending on the application, but you can have an output speed of approximately up to 800 books per hour. But the key is that there's different books in page count, in width, and in size overall. So that's quite effective. But that comes back to how you configure the system when it comes to the input channels. If it's a let's say slit and merge input channel in combination with a stream folder, or if it's a manual input via bridge. But the interesting is that we have found solutions in Asia Pacific at one of the biggest digital book printers in Asia. And so they're running huge amount, obviously Book of One target once more. But shall we go into the Drupa?
Yeah, let's go to the Drupa thing here. Tell me.
Yeah. Well, Drupa, as I say, 2016, long time ago. Now we are looking forward a lot to come into 2024 Drupa. And I think, I mean, we have tried obviously very hard from our end to really make an interesting program for our customers and partners. And I mean, we have a motto, and this is tomorrow's finishing today, connect with the future. And obviously we will be showcasing a lot of new solutions from Tekna. In our own booth, there will be 7 different type of solutions.
7
different type of solutions, and a lot of them is focusing into automation with new concept concerning to be able to switch from one format to another. And then obviously we will have a lot of different solutions for Revolution 50 platform, which we introduced throughout COVID period. In addition to that, there will be different type of activities in relation to different type of partners. So there are 8 different solutions with the partners throughout Drupa.
It's funny.
There will be new solutions as well as catchy solutions.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I wrote about Tekna in my daily Drupa updates, and one of the things I really appreciated about it was that at Printing United, you also introduced a collaboration both with Heidelberg Stahl, but also with Compact for the coatings.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a smart move, because you cannot always do everything yourself in-house, right?
No, and obviously, as you say, Printing United was a good showcase where we had our solution, 1212 solution, in relation to, in this case, a partner, Compact, as you mentioned, with a feeder and a coater. And there will be a similar solution also showing up in our booth at Drupa on this matter. Additionally, it will be catchy solution, as I mentioned. new solutions which are showcasing 3UP in line to different type of partners. And there will be also, obviously, as I'm saying, stack 1212 for larger sheets with a feeder and a coater.
Eric is listening into it, and he says the noise is very bad, and it's something in Thomas's side. But I can tell you that when I do the re-edit, I will remove the sound. I have a tool that I'm pretty sure can remove all his noise in the background. So I don't know what it is, but it is very loud.
Okay, let me see if I can do. Maybe I can do something here.
Now it's very good, but that's because you muted yourself, right? Thomas, you're muted, so I can't hear you right now.
Is it better now?
Yeah, now it's removed entirely.
I'm sorry.
So what did you do?
So no background.
Okay, no. So can you talk about what partners you're bringing to Drupa, or is that still too soon?
No. We will have, as I mentioned, we will have in our own booth solutions with Compaq. We will also have solutions with folder manufacturer, Heidelberg. And obviously we are showcasing different type of techno solutions for Revolution 50 platform, which, as you know, we launched throughout COVID period of time. And we have done now a lot of installations all over the world. And now it's very nice to see that we are able to show these solutions from Revolution 50 in line to different type of partners like Canon, like Fujifilm, and obviously that's going to be very interesting to be on set, so to say, once more. I mean, 8 years ago, 2016. Now we don't know exactly how many people will be coming in. I saw a figure from 2016 that the attendees at that time were around 260,000 people during 2016. And during 2000, which was the first Drupa I did, so this is my sixth Drupa, there was around 430,000 attendees coming in. So we don't know exactly how many will be coming in, but for sure what we feel very strongly is that there is a lot of discussions in Asia Pacific, where I'm obviously working a lot, but also in Europe and in US, and a lot of interest.
And I was just about to say that if only 200,000 people come to your booth, that's totally okay, right?
Well, we are very happy with if there is a percent of that figure is good enough as well.
But I mean, the reason why we do these daily updates on our LinkedIn page and also having these pre-Drupa events is, of course, to hopefully attract people to come and see and talk to you guys, because that is, I think that events and meeting people is always important, and then you can always talk about the ups and downs and how it's executed.
I think the sense we have at this point is that since now it's a long time since we had Drupa last time, there is a lot of interest. A lot of customers are very interested to come out and visit partners, to visit finishing vendors, to visit. So I think it's going to be a great opportunity to meet face to face and have good discussions. And obviously, once more, we are targeting obviously automation from our point of view, and linked, you can say, in all our solutions is that we have our software platform Techna Connect, obviously helping our customers to really utilize the capacity of our part of this overall solution. So you can keep track of throughput from our system, uptime, and important is this is a complement to other type of solutions that the partners eventually are offering to the customer. That's going to be
I was thinking that we heard about the new stuff from Canon this morning. I was at the HP event last week. It seems that also on the print side it gets, let's say, faster and faster. Is that a challenge from a binding perspective, or is that something that can relatively easily be adjusted for?
Well, if you look upon speed, always speed is obviously of interest as always, and then if you have a speed, obviously we need to consider speed, and then in addition to that, obviously you need to control. Okay, what's the size? What's the page count? And obviously from there you can then make a reasonable recommendation for a customer to obviously be able to optimize throughput. I think from our point of view now with Techna Connect, which will be, as I mentioned, all over our solutions at Drupa, there will be a lot of good information you can help the customer to really understand what's the throughput, what's the productivity we're gaining here. For example, if you have a day shift and you feel that the productivity maybe is different versus the night shift, we can easily then look into the Techna Connect to get information about uptime, to get information what has happened during the night shift versus the day shift, and then make different actions in order to optimize the overall usage of the line. So that's going to be for sure important.
Makes sense. Thomas, time is up. I'm still waiting for Patrick, who's our next guest from BV Paper Systems, but I hope he will be here. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, he had some problems getting my mail from yesterday, but Henrik has just resent him. Hang on 2 seconds. For people that are watching right now, I just have to restart the stream on LinkedIn because there is a time difference in how often. Okay, now we have Patrick coming in. Well, Thomas, your time is over. Thank you very much. As always, a
Thank
pleasure.
you so much, Morten, and we look forward to meet you at Drupa and we keep in contact. Take care.
Definitely. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, that was me, and that was Patrick. Good morning,
Hey.
Patrick. I'm sorry
Good
that you
morning.
didn't get my mails.
Yeah, I got it finally. Sorry for that little hiccup.
Can you move a little bit to the center because you are very much the other way, the other center? Then it's much better. No, yeah.
Okay, now we go.
Right now. Hang on a second. I just need to see if I can restart the stream on LinkedIn because they have limitations in how long time a stream can be. So it just needs to be reset here. So I'm just doing that. Hang on a second here. And now it should be streaming again. So let's see if it works. All right, but welcome, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
Very busy now, you ask me,
Yeah, I
but
know.
it's not so much about you. It's about the BW paper system and you, of course, right?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I think that, you have been at the non-event where we got an opportunity to get to know each other a little bit. The first time I really saw your products in action was in a film we did from Drewsen Spezialpapier in Germany, a paper manufacturer. Is that all you do? Is that just doing fantastic equipment?
Yeah, that's a penalty kick for me, obviously. So yeah, generally yes. Of course, we come from a different companies, as you know. Paper Systems is an organization built with different suppliers like Kugler Bomarco, Will, Pemco, Bilomatic, Jagenberg, and Marquip, and all other brands which are missing right now. But yeah, we have been building machines for certain markets for 50, 100 years, and the Questec sheeter, which for niche products, which is really neat and which we will show at Drupa as well, because it covers something which seems to become a trend: lightweight papers, short order runs, specialties with maybe better margins for our customers and difficult to convert. And so that is something which this QuestTech sheeter, in a very limited room with more or less no operator interaction, that is maybe the main theme which we will be covering with that exhibit. But of course, we are doing more than this.
Yeah, because I mean, you and I, we also spoke during the COVID in this fast forward format that I really liked, and there you also showed some photos from. I mean, I think that your main market is converting paper, cutting into sheets, converting roll to roll. I mean, so it's mainly like the paper industry that is really your market, right?
Yeah, and that is an interesting question, which we had to kind of discuss also in the recent years. Where is really our focus? Where are we strong, and which is something which is growing? Because we had that big portfolio. Our owners said once, we are kind of a dog's breakfast. We have everything, and we should focus on some things. So obviously, corrugated is one business we are doing a lot, and for our division where I'm heading off is paper converting, board converting, and we kind of funneled that in the theme folding carton packaging. That is really where we are strong. That's where we are fitting our products best in, like beverage industry, printing industry, folding carton. Fine paper, yeah, in some niches, as I mentioned with this QuestTech sheeter, but generally speaking, it's the roll to sheet converting where we are really strong.
I know it didn't become a success, but I introduced you to Kodak at Hunkler Innovation Days, and that was mainly because the Prosper 7000 is so fast as it is, and you have the QuestTech, it is converting at the same speed, basically. Is that a market that you operate in today? I mean, like converting directly off the printing presses as well, or is it mainly as offline configurations that you're working with?
So the machine was invented to be technically an inline sheeter with a printing press or whatever kind of conversion. We sold that once, and then we sold that once also as an offline version. And then this company and this product became part of our family. And we kind of tossed it around and we're not sure what to do with it. And finally, we focused on where we have been strong in the past, which is the offline conversion. And we have sold quite some footprints also in the recent past. But the inline is still a target market for us, where we want to partner with OEMs like Kodak, like others. So we are very open. It's an open environment. And I think it adds value for the customers because it kind of cuts one interface off of the process, and it's very efficient. And the sheeters definitely, in the past, sheeters have been the kind of the bottleneck of the process. The sheeter runs 400 meters, even 500 meters is our target. So no press of sheets per hour.
Fantastic. When you focus on the QuestTech, for example, also at Drupa, is that because by trying to influencing the people that are buying, let's say, a press, then you can have because I think that often when you buy a press, you go to, let's say, the press OEM, and then it's a combination with their salespeople about getting, the finishing solutions. At least that is what I understand, that is often that way. It's not so often that the customers go to each component seller and ask them specifically. So when you are at Drupa, is that the main focus, or is it also because Drupa is so wide that it covers also the converting business itself?
Yeah, it's both. For sure, we decided to exhibit the QuestTech sheeter because there's two reasons. First, we want to show that we partner with the big players in the market on the printing industry. And of course, we want to be pulled behind. We are used to that because paper machines, when former business was cut size sheeting or like in paper mills, where the paper machine was the main event. And then there was something in the background.
So what you say is that the paper mills don't want to sell like these 7-8 meter wide rolls to the printing company and then just let them do everything themselves, right?
No, exactly. And so we were kind of the second thought, and the same is maybe with the inline sheeting and the printing press. So the printing press obviously is the master and is the most important investment for our potential customers. But we want to show them that there is something which could be plugged behind and which would work with all kinds of printing presses. The other reason why we are there is typically the Quest Extruder is a solution for a customer who doesn't have a problem yet, which means we have to kind of inform them, wait a moment guys, you might have a problem and there is a solution for a process which you haven't had in mind before. And so it's kind of a totally different sales approach. You consult the customers, you find the customers, you identify. We really went from the product. In a restaurant, you might remember there are sometimes these table sets which are fine papers cut to a certain size and which are replacing whatever linen or something, where you think, who makes that? Where is it done? And how can you convert that thin paper? And we kind of followed the track backwards and identified people who were cutting these manually. We told them, you know what, you can do this automatically. And the sheeter, no way you can cut that paper. We said, yes, we can. So that's the way, that's really Sherlock Holmes' way of selling. And to simplify that a little bit, to get a little bit on stage with that product, we thought Drupa is a good idea to expose that.
But it's not the first time you're exhibiting at Drupa, is it?
It is the first time we exhibit, because 2016 was the last Drupa, and we acquired Questec 2017. So
okay.
It's really the first time we show that.
Okay, so expectations are even higher.
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. So when you are not at Drupa, what is the main market you address? Is that still like the paper mills and that kind of things, or what is the main market?
Yeah, I mean, you had a discussion earlier today with Miller Martini, I think, talking about the small mom and pop shops and converters. We go across like a single 5-people company garage shop who might need a simple sheeting or converting solution to the paper mills like whatever, UPM, Stora Enso, Mondi, you name them. So we work with everybody, and we kind of have for everybody a solution.
So what you say is basically that the product portfolio that BW Paper System has is so wide that it also go to the tiny ones. Because the reason I'm asking is just because I remember you showed me a photo of like that really big one that you were building in Hamburg, right? And I thought that was actually the main business that you were in, but you basically cover a wider span, so to speak.
True, yeah, and that is helping us as well to go through some whatever mega situations or market dynamics where you see a downturn, for example, in folding carton, which we had recently because of all the stock and so on. So, but we were covering also other markets and fine paper markets and in paper mills where they wanted cut size paper suddenly, or stationery or RFID solutions, and we all have that. So that's why it helps us to balance out the years, even in crisis situations. COVID, for example, was a mega era for us where we sold a lot. And then it took a little downturn, but other products were flying. So yes, and areas, we are covering the world more or less. Of course, North America is a very important market for us because we have our home base there with many production sites. Latin America has been a strong market, and EMEA and Europe, same. We have 2 production sites here.
Maybe you should just elaborate on that a little bit, because you have BW is for Barry Waymiller, and Barry Waymiller is I think it was used to be called Baldwin. I don't think it's called Baldwin anymore, right?
Baldwin is part of it, yeah.
Yeah, Baldwin is part of it, and then you have AMS, Spectral. You have, I mean, there's a lot of different companies that are under the Barry Waymiller name. Do you collaborate with them on a daily basis, or is it very much siloed?
Our organizational matrix is silo, but of course, we identified so many synergies, especially with Baldwin, but also others in the packaging platform. So we have 3 main platforms. It's paper, it's tissue, and it's converting, as we call it, packaging. So all kind of solution for Coca-Cola and pouch packing and bottle filling. And there's always synergies. There's always something in between, right? And we have common sales approaches. We have so-called R&D innovation days where we meet in a full week of exchange. And So we use these synergies. We could use them better, for sure. I mean, we are a 13,000 people company with about 130 acquisitions.
Wow.
And when you think about 130 acquisitions, it's like 130 cultures and people across the globe have to get together and cooperate and learn from each other. Products, whatever, markets, customers, needs. And that is a lifetime journey, I guess. But we are doing pretty well on that.
Last question before I will let you go for lunch. I have to sit here for at least 1 hour more. Your founder, he's a characteristic. I can't remember his name right now, but he's a quite a characteristic, charismatic person. What was his name? Or is his name?
His name is Bob Chapman, and he is running the company with his son Kyle Chapman.
Yeah, the reason why I was saying,
they started that from scratch.
Yeah, the reason why I was saying that was because I remember when we had our fast forward during the COVID, you mentioned him, and I have looked a little bit into him because he was, or is he still alive, right?
Absolutely, yeah. More than ever. He
More
just
than ever. Because
had a lesson at a Mexican in university about our leadership.
Because he's a philanthropist and he's written books about leadership, and I think that his approach to how people are working together is maybe one of these factors that also bind the Barry Wehmiller group of people together, because he has a very unique approach to people, right? So maybe you can just tell me a little bit about that in 1 minute.
In 1 minute, yeah. Okay, that's hard. But so, I mean, we have, when you talk to Bob Chapman, he says the most important thing is that our people feel fulfilled and go safe to at home, so that they are better parents, better spouses, and we do everything to make that happen with our people. I mean, this is what many customers say finally, many companies say finally, but he really lives that to a degree that everybody feels that culture, and that he takes care about. He would not fire anybody in a crisis. We didn't let anybody go during COVID. We didn't let anybody go during the financial crisis 2008-9. And instead we hired people, and we keep them, and so our strongest good and most important good is the people, and we call it people in performance and harmony. So that is our gospel, and you can feel it every day, and for sure I can talk about that more. I have some speeches prepared in some other events, so maybe there's another opportunity to talk about that.
But now you spent 2 minutes, so I will get after you, Patrick. But thank you very much for this time, and thank you for bringing also the attention to Bob Chapman. Thank you very much, and next visitor will be presented here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dieter, good to see you.
Yeah, hi, nice to see you, Morten.
So were you nervous that this would not work because I didn't have time to bridge you into yesterday evening for a test?
Yeah, sometimes with a microphone.
You turned black now, my friend. What happened?
Yes, so that is why I was nervous with the camera. So let me reconnect, please.
Okay, that's okay. So just give him a second. It was just like black. I could hear him, but I could not see him. So you know how it is from time to time. Let's see if Dieter is back here in a second. He is. And here you are.
I'm very sorry for that. But yes, if you move around between teams and all those media channels today, you have to juggle a little bit with which microphone to use, which camera.
So many platforms, right? But Dieter, good to see you. You are with Sai Photo Products, and my colleagues had the fantastic pleasure of seeing some of your products in action in Hamburg. Was it last week or the week before? The week before. So great to have you here.
Yes, thank you very much, Morten. Thank you for having me.
One of the things that I realized when I was looking through all the Drupa pages is that that you come, of course, from a Japanese background company with a strong focus on chemicals and things like that. And then you made a machine that basically clean the water from and clean the waste from these things. And that was one of the things that was a little bit of a surprise to me. But maybe you can just bring me up to speed a little bit about what is it that Asahi do, and what is your claim to fame, PreDrupa?
Okay, so of course, if I have time, I will explain you. Asahi Kasei, of course, maybe you know, it's a big chemical company, almost 50,000 people. We are a smaller division, Asahi Photo Products, and we focus to sell photopolymer printing plates, and used to start already 50 years ago with selling photopolymer resin, so liquid resin, mainly for the corrugated industry. Since then, we have always tried to supply something without solvents. So at the time, 50 years ago, it was already water wash. Of course, mass market then required us also to jump onto that wagon to also supply solvent wash materials. But now more and more you can see back the trend of sustainability, and we are completely focusing now on the supply of plate material, which is washed by water, in fact.
And as you mentioned, the solvent base is basically also because you have this strategy, as you wrote to me yesterday, that zero solvent. Is it difficult to? I mean, one thing is you as a manufacturer, you can invent, let's say, new technologies that can replace solvent, for example. But is it difficult to convince the customers about it?
Difficult, of course. If you start with a new technology, you are not always starting with the lowest possible price. Companies really have to pay a premium, and they think so. You really want to go into that direction. But I can say now that we started 10 years ago with that new philosophy. It's not one product; it's really the philosophy. And actually now it is a mass market product. So also that is now much more affordable for any one company to go in that direction. But let me elaborate a little bit, not on the one product, but on the philosophy. It is not, as I mentioned, it's not one particular product we are providing to the market. It is a solution because if you have ever visited a plate making company, you probably have seen that you can smell just by walking past the company a strange smell. So most of the time you can actually smell from outside that this company is producing flexo plates. And we said to ourselves, we don't need to have that now because actually there are so many opportunities and solutions now, alternative solutions in the market. By the way, not only from our side, also from our competitor side, to go away from solvent washable plate material, that there's actually practically no need anymore to stop the transition to alternative plate making solutions. So the plate is of course, one component, but it's a philosophy. So it comes together with machinery. So your colleague actually went to Hamburg. We had some filming there at a customer of ours to see the complete automated solution. But we don't stop there. We also look for taking care of the wastewater. Because this is one of the claim we had a lot of time before, that at the end of the day you are polluting water. But practically now with this wastewater recycling unit, we can keep the wastewater we use in the washout process almost in the closed loop. And so I think it's getting closer and closer to being closed loop. Anyway, that is our ambition. So we are trying really hard to change something towards that goal to be one day in the closed loop and have more and more sustainable products.
When you set a course like that, I guess that is not just something for Asahi photo product. That is something where you I mean, your entire organization can benefit from that development, right?
Excellent. Exactly. So 2 years ago, together with the Carbon Trust in the UK, we set out a program that was to make our water wash plate certified carbon neutral. And if you go in that direction, so actually the way it works is that you make a life cycle analysis from cradle to grave. We did at that time, and you basically offset your carbon impact with purchasing carbon credits. So that, of course, everybody can do. But as you mentioned, to get the transition also inside our company from R&D, this was really triggering mindsets of the people in R&D to think, okay, for next year we need to reduce by X amount. So how can we practically do that? So that process, I think, this is one of the important outcome of this certification, that R&D really needs to think hard now. How can we actually achieve a reduction of CO2 footprint? So yes, so that I think is really great internally as well.
I can tell you a funny story that is not exactly in what you talk about, but a little bit. I met a very interesting guy from Sri Lanka that wanted to make an environmental program for his company, a huge printing company. And they were still using developers that included silver. So he said to his bosses that every time we clean the water, we can get X amount of silver out of it. And that was what caused them to go into actually making clean water solutions, because they thought they could win a lot of money by taking out the silver of it. And I guess that it is, when you do things like this, the silver or the gold is, of course, that the increasing demand in the market is to become more sustainable and to have solutions that you can basically monetize from having a greener future, right?
Yes, exactly. And you just mentioned with your example in Sri Lanka. So I remember those days with silver halide films, and actually at that time bromide was also used. Already at that time, we found an alternative by UVC detacking instead of bromide. But the world is really developing with different pace. So that is what we can see in different regions of the world. But for the same very reason, so for the silver to get some money, I think this is probably also one of the reasons why we can see in other areas that people really jump on that wagon for sustainability. Because at the end of the day, it's not only that the products have less impact, but at the end of the day, impact means normally energy. So you are saving energy, and energy is relating to cost. So most of the time, this is really a nice cost-saving effort what you are doing for promoting sustainability.
But does that also mean that when you make that clean water system, that you of course have to have a strong focus on having that as low energy as possible?
Of course, that is the focus. So we avoid distillation. In theory, we could reach 100% recycling rate of the water if we would distill the water, but that would cost an awful lot of energy if we would run a distillation for distillating water. So that's why we are using a filtration, which is much less energy in the running cost, of course, in the energy. Basically that is the reason. And not only that, so water wash is really our ultimate goal. We have, so if you see the market of flexo plate making, probably at least now 70% in our market, the companies are developing and processing the plates by solvents. If you so we already have an offering for that market. So we use and we introduced just very recently a plate which is solvent wash for the 70% installed bases worldwide. But that plate is only using 70% of the solvent. So you can produce it with much less solvent compared to the past. So actually, message is it's our philosophy. We call it Road to Solvent Zero. So that still includes solvent, but we are driving the market in this direction step by step to go to a ideally solventless plate making society. And of course, the ultimate goal would then be, of course, a water wash technology.
Fantastic, and all these things can be. You can see that at Drupa, and you can come and talk to your specialist and learn much more about it, I guess, right?
Yes, of course. I by myself will be all 10 days on Drupa there, and I'm really looking forward.
Dieter, what about the 11th day? You will not be there at the 11th day?
There's 11 days for relaxing. I will have an acai beer and just don't care anymore, to be honest with you. No. Yes, no, but yes, actually, I'm quite looking forward. So many people, they always say to me, Drupa, really heavy work, and when do you go, first week or second week? And I say, no, I'm going all the time, so I'm all in. And actually, I can already feel adrenaline is rising. 8 years since the last Drupa, and actually I can't wait that it starts. So
fantastic!
Really looking forward to it.
I look forward to meet you at Drupa, and thank you very much for your time here in our PreDrupa. And remember, we have one again on April 23rd, in case you have more good things to tell about. But for now, thank you very much. And now a little introduction to our next visitors, and there's 2 next time. So see you in a second. Bye-bye. We just need to kick you out, Dieter. Here we have Nick, and here we have Eric. Welcome, both of you. Good to see you.
Hello. Good to see you. Good to see you.
And Eric, I feel so stupid because when I told you last week when we met that I would pick an 8 hour for you, I thought you were in the US, but I forgot that you, of course, in Düsseldorf for the PreDrupa, right?
No, I'm still in the US.
Are you?
No,
okay, I thought you were. Okay.
Yeah. I'm Nick and I are actually at D-Scoop doing some customer videos with HP, along with Kevin Abergel, who is part of Tactiful, but also part of our team. So David Zwang and Adam DeWitz are in Dusseldorf covering that event. So no, I'm still in Indianapolis. It was 5 a.m. Martin when I had to get up. So
okay, and I know you have been listening in during the day, and I didn't ask you and require you to be from the morning. So that's on your side, my friend.
No, for sure. And sorry, I crowded up the green room there for a minute.
No,
I had to jump.
I have to remember that next time I write out to people about it, just say that when you want to just listen in, do the official channels, and there's I actually thought that you could be in the waiting room without any problems, and then I realized because Andreas was writing to me, I cannot get on.
Yeah, and you were like, "Hey, Eric is in here." I'm like, "Oh crap!"
Yeah. And Nick, good to see you. I guess that you guys are busy because official Drupa partner, what they think, daily Drupa. You're not making it easy for yourself, right? Are you?
Never.
It's such a exciting time, and this will be my first Drupa. Over the years, it's been, COVID blocked my last opportunity, but man, all the preparation and exciting partnerships, and I just think what a cool year for the industry, and just can't wait for what's around the corner.
But Nick, there's another reason, and that is because you are so young compared to me and Eric. So that is maybe the more important reason why you have not been at Drupa before, right? So
it's not fair to Nick, but I perpetually see him as like a college student, and I know because I think I'm not aging. I don't think he ages, but he's actually getting older. It's actually happening.
I can guarantee.
It's so funny with these things, but I'm happy to see you here. I was very pleased when you reached out, Eric, and asked if you could be part of this, and of course you can. We have 2 more shows. If you want to be part of that, you're more than welcome as well. We're on the 23rd and on May the 14th as well. As you wrote somewhere, I think it was in maybe one of my posts on LinkedIn, you said that it is really important to do something that benefit the industry, and sometimes you have to. I mean, the more information that we can share with people about Drupa, hopefully we can drive more interest at being at Drupa, right? Because that is, of course, the ultimate experience to come and see that. So I think it's great.
For sure. Yeah, that's always been a core philosophy of what they think. Is the first question that we really ask is, does this benefit the industry? We've always thought, like, how do we make money, or how do we make hay out of it second? So we're always up for cooperating and collaborating. And as you know, our big thing is we are really trying to be, if you want to know something that's going on in the industry, if you come to what they think, that's what you'll do. So, and you guys are doing a phenomenal job of delivering that through the stories in video. So
we try, but I mean, as I always say, that we are the smaller fish in this ocean, and I think a couple of things is, of course, that with the experience that what they think have is one thing, but also that it is like the go-to place when you have like news that you want to publish, because you have a platform that has been tailored for it, right? And therefore, I think it's just great that we have opportunities of working on different perspectives of the industry, because it would be a shame if we all did it the same way, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, guys, Eric, you wrote to me yesterday that let's start a little bit with you and talk about what can people expect from what they think. I saw you had a presentation, this is a couple of weeks ago, where you spoke about the road to Drupa, the very first of the ones I saw, at least, where you spoke about that. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit to the audience that are watching today. How would you manage to, or what will you do at Drupa?
Well, I mean, we're the official show daily partner, right? So we're gonna have a team of about 20 folks. We're gonna be in Hall 7, stand H1, I believe it is, Nick. And basically, we're gonna do what we've normally done, but we're adding this monster of a Drupa daily print publication, right? So right now we're planning to offer flexible production, because we don't, in the past, they've just printed like 10,000 copies and dumped them out on the floor. But one of the themes of this Drupa is sustainability. So we've approached them with a flexible production model, which we're going to actually model past Drupa attendance and print a number of copies commensurate with how many people we think will show up that day, right? So we know historically.
Sorry, so that does that mean that basically, let's say that on the first day the expected number is 3,844, then instead of printing 10,000, you print a little bit in that range and basically make sure that people get it at the entrance or something like that, or how does that work?
Correct. Okay. Yeah, because I mean, listen, Morten, it makes no sense. Typically,
I totally agree.
you want to make available about 1 copy per 3 attendees. That's usually the consumption rate that we've seen in the past. So, Messe Dusseldorf is our partner. Obviously, they know all of the numbers for past Drupas. They can tell us on this day this many people, on this day this many people. So we're targeting the production. So I will tell you, like, day 3 is going to be the most available, because that's when there's going to be probably 30-some thousand people there.
Is that
potentially on day 2 as well? It usually builds. Day 1, it's not as heavy as you would think, but obviously there's a lot of excitement. But by day 3, there's a lot of people there, and then that trails off, and then there's another bump in week 2, and then it trails off, right?
Okay, so you have like these curves basically.
Yeah, exactly.
You can see. Okay, so is it typically like this, that, as you say, that first day not so many, and then it goes up like the second and third day, and then it goes a little bit down to the weekend, or?
Yeah, I wouldn't say not so many the first day, but it ramps up on the second day, and it looks like the highest is on the third day. Now that's just we're just using 2016 numbers.
Yeah.
So obviously that rhythm could probably change, but I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to have about 68,000 total copies available. Each day is going to be different and new. We're changing the format a little bit to an A4 format. We wanted it to be a little easier to slip in a briefcase or a backpack. It's probably going to be around the 48-page range.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's gonna be really cool. We also, content focus was one thing that we really wanted to bring. We wanted to add, as you know, a lot of show dailies are what we would probably say, maybe you and I would say in the media biz, like fluff. Like there's just a lot of not a lot of meat. So we're wanting to add a lot of meat. We're wanting to add thought leadership. We're wanting to have global media participation, a lot of perspectives from all over the world. And we really want to contextualize all of the announcements for the people that are there in terms of what does this mean? Okay, so-and-so announces whatever, so-and-so announces whatever, there's this new equipment, but what does that mean for you as a printer in your business? How can you use it? How can you leverage it? So that's the same kind of themes that we have on whattheythink.com that everybody's used to, have been for 20 years, is not just all the press releases. Obviously, we aggregate and curate all that stuff, but let's contextualize it into what does this news mean? Like what are you going to do with it? So we're going to try to bring that to the Drupa Daily, something that that maybe has potentially been a weakness from the past, but we'll see.
Can I interrupt you very briefly? Because when I saw your first road to Drupa, I thought it was actually a very super great idea. Because I mean, as you said, if you normally have like 12, 13, 15 press releases a day, that is for most people something that you can consume and digest and figure out what you want to do with yourself. But you said that it was like between 80 and 100 is typically during the show. That is impossible. Insane. So I think that digesting it and give people directions in advices is a super great idea. So congratulations. That so will that be in the Daily Drupa, or will that be on What They Think, or both, or
both? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of that's the great thing about the exposure is that it's fantastic, right? There's gonna be we're gonna have the What They Think distribution channel, also Drupa.com, also the printed Drupa Daily. So there's gonna be a lot, and also the app, the Drupa app. So we're gonna be publishing all of that content through all of those different.
Nice. That's great.
It's gonna be really good. And so I'll let Nick talk a little bit. We've got some other stuff happening with video.
Yeah, the video studio we're really excited about, as Eric mentioned, being in Hall 7 and using that as a terrific space and also in context of Hall 7, who's around us, to really highlight a lot of different voices and welcome folks in there, and also having all the different copies of the daily. And the team that we're bringing over is quite extensive, and from early on, pre-show, during the show, the second wave, all the way through. It's really comprehensive, covering of the entire show, and we're excited.
Yeah, so Carrie Sherburne's going to be anchoring the Drupa Daily TV studio in Hall 7. So she's going to be super busy. She's a
I
veteran
like that Drupa Daily TV studio. That I like. That's super nice.
So she was not going to come to Drupa, but we were able to twist her arm and get her a really nice first-class ticket and treat her like the diva that she is. But everybody's going to recognize Carrie's coverage, because I remember the last Drupa we did together. I think she did a gauntlet of somewhere around 160 videos, and she did almost every interview in the studio. I don't understand how she does it, but we can't wait to have Carrie back there. It's going to be really cool. Go ahead.
I can tell you that was actually the very first time I met her. And the only reason I was so fortunate to get to meet her there was, I think that Deborah Korn was doing the first Girly Awards in the US. And then I was thinking, okay, it could be fun to talk to some of the previous Girly Awards. And I remember I got into that studio space where she was sitting, and I said, "Can I ask you? I was starstruck. Can I ask you a few questions about?" And the answer was cut into the, let's say, the celebration of the Girly Award, and I thought it was so cool because that was the first time. So I'm happy that I'm sad for you, Nick, because if she has to go first class, I guess that you have to go coach in order to balance the budget, right?
No, me.
No, Nick.
I'm sitting on the back of the plane so that Carrie can be there. But listen. That's what leaders make sacrifices, Morten. That's what we do. But also, another really cool thing that we're doing is we are partnering with Cal Poly to bring several students from California and from the U.S. over to the Drupa show. An experience that I'm sure that they'll remember forever. And we're going to put them to work a little bit. We're going to have a few little tasks that they can do, be runners for us or help out in some ways. But we're also going to give them plenty of time to walk around the show floor. And I hope you get to meet some of them, because
that would be
there's
nice.
There's some fantastic young people in the U.S. that are really passionate about the printing industry. It's really neat to see. So.
Can I ask you a question? Because I heard it was a strange situation. I was in Berlin airport some months ago, and I was just sitting and having my dinner, and then there was I think she was a Latvian woman sitting next to me, and she asked we just accidentally got into talk, and she told her son was studying design, and that he was invited to Drupa as well, but he was from the design school in Riga. So I was just wondering, do you know if, I mean, Cal Poly is of course super interesting, but do you know if there's like more people that you might involve also from the young perspective into some of the things you're doing, or do you know what Drupa is doing on that perspective? Or
I don't know, but we're super open to it. I mean, if there are other opportunities, reach out to us. We'd love to have other cooperation. We'll work with students. It's all good.
Yeah, I was just about to say that you're featuring the young people to the industry is important. I mean, Nick, you have been, I would say, instrumental in being a young leader, also with your career with Heidelberg, and how you moved to Europe and moved back to the US and become. I mean, so I think it's important that we do what we can in order to support young people's interest in this industry, right? So I was just wondering, Eric, that maybe you knew about what Drupa was doing on this, because I was just surprised because I hadn't heard it before. So that was why I was just surprised.
News to me. It's hard to follow all this stuff. There's so much stuff going on.
I mean, there's so many things.
I know we're running out of time a little bit. I did want to shout out some people, some folks that have supported the Drupa Daily with their efforts. We've got some great sponsorship support: Canon, HP, Heidelberg, Kodak, Bops, Fujifilm, EFI, eProductivity Software, Coors, Landa, Kongsberg, Harrison Bruno, Riso, BW Paper Systems. We're really seeing a lot of people get behind the efforts of Drupa Daily, and yeah, we're super fortunate. We're gonna have fun. We haven't done it before, but as you know, since 2018, we've published a magazine 6 times a year that's has a circulation of about 33,000. So we're used to the print game, even though we're digital natives from 2000. We're learning print finally.
Eric, are you in America familiar with P.P. Longstocking?
Yes, I loved that as a kid.
And you know what you said, that I have never tried before, but that cannot be so difficult. So maybe that is the saying of everything here, right?
So, yeah, and if you say it fast, it's funny, right?
I can't say it fast because, as you know, my English sucks.
Wasn't that the theme song? I am Pippi Longstocking. If you say it fast, it's funny.
I have only the Danish version of it. I've never heard it in English before. So,
I guess they didn't translate
something now that maybe that you did. We have a first on English, and that is Eric Vessels singing. Wow, that's fantastic. Guys, it was super great to see you here, and I look forward to see you at Drupa. So thank you for your time here. Yeah. And if you, as I said, if you want to participate in the next ones, feel free.
Thank you so much.
We will definitely do that, Morten, because there's probably going to be more things that we can share the closer we get. There's some things that we're working on. So appreciate the opportunity.
Always. All right, but take care.
Bye-bye.
See you, everyone.
Bye-bye. I was supposed to have a Michael Orman from, are you there, Michael? My link to the Teams meeting is not working here, but that's not a Teams meeting here. Hang on a second here. Just a second. that kind of wraps up the day. If I get Michael on board, that would be super nice if it's him. And if it's not him, then suddenly we see a total stranger on our channel. I mean, that could be fun too. I hope you have enjoyed the program today, because it is. I came from the US yesterday, and I've been a little bit tired, and we've been a little bit busy. But I think it's important to have these kind of sessions here, and in my opinion, the program has just been wonderful here. So let me just give him a little bit one more chance just to see. Alrighty, just no. Well, that is what happens. Sometimes live is a bitch, because it is definitely something that, in many perspectives, it could have been pre-recorded, but I think actually it gives a nice touch to that, let's say, tension that you have when things are live. So with that said, I just want to play our little PreDrupa jingle, and then I just want to thank you very much for today, and I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have. Thank you.